All right, we're live. My name is Jamie J. I'm the host of Live with Bottleneck. Today we're talking with Melanie Herschorn. I think that's the right way to pronounce it. And we're going to have a fun conversation. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back in just a moment here. I want to play this awesome little intro that my team did. They're just amazing with what they do there. So we'll be back in about 43 seconds and have a wonderful conversation. Well, hello there. My name is Jamie J. I'm the host of Live with Bottleneck and also the CEO and founder of Bottleneck Distant Assistance, where we try to help stop the bottleneck in your business and your life. And I'm really kind of excited today to talk with Melanie because Melanie is doing some pretty cool stuff. So we're going to be talking about how to make your book and brand shine online. And she's a book marketing strategist and founder of VIP Digital Content. And why, oh, why can Melanie help you stop the bottleneck in your business? Let me tell you. Melanie wants to make your book and brand sparkle online. As a content marketing strategist for coaches, consultants, and speakers worldwide, she's on a mission to support and empower her clients to create clear messaging and content that shines a light on their individuality, skill set, and books. With her unique combination of entrepreneurship, award-winning journalism, and PR experience, Melanie guides her clients to attract and nurture leads and position themselves as industry experts. She also loves to provide book marketing tips and interview authors on her show, Authority Marketing Live. So without any further ado, please allow me to welcome Melanie. How are you, Melanie?
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. How are you?
I'm fantastic. This is going to be a fun conversation. I recently published my first book ever. And I'm kind of, I'll be a little selfish in this because I'm kind of excited to chat with you a little bit. And there was one initial comment here. It said, hi, Melanie, from a LinkedIn user. No idea who, but Melanie knows all the best people. Nice to meet you, Jamie. Well, it's nice to meet you, LinkedIn user. No, this is fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. I wonder, let's kick this thing off and give us a little bit more insight into who you are and what you do.
Oh my gosh, how much time do you have, Jamie? So who I am a book marketing strategist. I am a mom of two. I, as my husband so beautifully put on Facebook for my birthday yesterday, I am the captain of the ship.
Ooh, well, happy birthday.
Thanks. Thank you. I'm 43. Woohoo.
Woo! Congratulations.
Thanks. Yay! So I help authors. I basically say that I build a bridge. I bridge the gap between publishing and publicity, because a lot of times people get really in the weeds about creating their book. And I know, because my book's coming out soon too. And I know how easy it is to be like, oh, but chapter 7 isn't perfect. Right. So, but then they go, oh, well, now my book's out, so I need a publicist. And then they say, well, the publicist said, okay, great. Yeah, sure. We'll get you on all these great things. But if there's no online presence, if the messaging is confusing, what happens is, and this actually happened to a woman. And so it really does happen. She had hired a publicist. She got on like 18 different media outlets, and one was a big one, like a New York morning show. And then I said to her, so how many books have you sold? And she said 100.
Ooh.
And you know that you could sell 100 to your friends and family like the first day your book comes out, right? And she had been paying a publicist for a long time. And so when I went on her social media and I went on her website, it was pretty obvious to me why that had happened. It's because the messaging was so confusing. So people might have seen her on a show, but then everybody lurks, right? We all have our phones out, we're scrolling, we watch somebody somewhere and we go, well, I want to know more. Just like the question you asked me. So if somebody's watching right now, they might be watching us, but they also might have their phone out and go, ooh, I'm going to look Melanie up. What's she been up to? So
chances are that's pretty good, right?
yeah. So if you don't have that online presence and you don't have all the ducks in a row in terms of your online content, people aren't going to buy your book because they're not going to trust you. They're going to be like, who's this person? Why should I take what they say as gospel? So that's kind of where I come in. I build that bridge. The bridge of gospel. There we are.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, continuity is so important and oftentimes overlooked. And you see these little ads on Facebook that people will post of a certain picture, but then when they click on the link and they go to that site, there's no similarities, no color similarities, no image similarity, and people trust Facebook for the extent of what that's worth. But when they move on to a private website, you're having to reestablish that trust all over again, right?
Right, exactly. It needs to be, like you said, the continuity. It needs to be everywhere. And the consistency too. I call consistency the granny panties of content marketing because it's so unsexy. And people are like, ooh, marketing's so sexy. But granny panties are not, and neither is being consistent online. But it's so necessary. It's what's going to take you that distance, is constantly showing up and showing up with continued messaging. You know what I mean? Like making sure that the messaging is the same here and there so that no matter where somebody finds you online, they understand what it is that you do and how you can help them and why they should buy your book.
You said earlier, maybe one of the chapters isn't correctly. That resonates with me. And I actually turned a negative. I fell into a positive, wherein I had all the other chapters written, and chapter 5 was kind of a pivotal chapter. It kind of took somebody into the next section, and I just couldn't get it. And I talked to my wife and I said, Sarah, would you just look at this and just give me some feedback? She kind of rewrote it. And then, so chapter 5 is my wife's chapter. And I just let everybody know, I said, I didn't know how to do it. She just took what I wrote and made sense of it all. And it was kind of a blessing. And we actually took that and leveraged that a little bit, and that authenticity of going through the challenge of not only writing the book. I saw a little post today and it showed a picture of a guy smiling, talking about his book. And then it showed a picture of a guy crying, like actually writing the book, and I just think having kind of some authentic storytelling that goes along with that in your marketing efforts, to me, at least, it seems like it goes a long way. How do you feel about that aspect of sharing the journey?
Yes, the journey is so important. And a lot of people don't even start promoting their book until after it's written and done. And you can start today. I mean, you saw how I just threw out there that I have a forthcoming book. It's still in Google Doc form, but I'm talking about it. And yes, and telling, all the things that go along with it. So sure, all the stuff in your book is a gold mine, right? Your book is a gold mine for your content. Pull all the things out. But also tell the stories of how chapter 5, you just couldn't get it. So your wife stepped in and saved the day. That stuff resonates with people. And stories are what work. It's how humans remember things. I had this amazing history teacher in 10th grade. He's since passed, which is really sad because he was awesome. And he made history come alive. And I subsequently went and did a specialist. I didn't even major. I did a specialist in history in undergrad because I loved history so much. And what he did was, instead of having us memorize names and dates and blah, 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 he acted it out. One day I came into class, sat down, opened my binder, looked up, and he was standing on my desk. And he started orating as though the guy that we were about to be learning about. He started giving the man's speech, but literally standing on my desk. And when you're 15, you're like, whoa, that's pretty crazy. Like, standing on my desk. So, but those stories, that was a long time ago. You guys know how old I am. And they stick with me. And those stories are what's going to stick with your audience because they're going to see themselves in it too, in some way.
I love that. Yeah. it was so strange. For me, storytelling is not easy. It's a challenge.
Mhm.
But at the same time, writing down my experiences and things like that, what I was able to do after I went through the book, I started noticing that I was like, um, there's some quotes in here that I can pull from this book.
Yeah.
And boy, we could talk about that a little bit.
Yes.
And I was like, holy cow, that's pretty interesting. And not only that, but somebody on my team went and looked, and they were like, hey, there's this quote and this quote. So other people started pulling out little tiny things out of that book, and we started using that. And 6 months before my book even launched, we sold 134 copies. And it was really neat because the book wasn't out, but we were starting to get people excited.
Mhm.
And it actually started. It was scary because I hadn't finished the book at that point, and our publisher said, "Go ahead and put author on like all of your social media." And I was like, "But I'm not an author yet." Like it was, I really battled. I had a lot of what is that called? Imposter
Mind-
syndrome, I think.
Yeah, yeah, and that's definitely a mindset thing. But you are an author. Absolutely, you're an author. As soon as you start writing your book, you're an author. And you had a publisher already, which meant it was gonna get finished.
Yeah, it's just win, right?
Right, it's the win. But I love what you said about having someone from your team do it, because so often it's hard to be objective with your own book. You really have to sort of put on a hat, kind of like the hat you're wearing right now, and say, okay, I am now going to objectively look at my book and find things in it that will resonate with my audience, that really prove my mission, that talk about what it is I'm trying to do and how I'm trying to help people. I mean, the people that I work with are often they're entrepreneurs, and they have a mission behind what it is that they're doing. So I get to help people make this world a better place by helping them amplify their mission online. Um, and I want to talk about what you said about how you already have these advanced copies sold, which is amazing. And it's so doable. I have a client whose book just launched last week, and he sold 1,200 copies in pre-sales.
Wow, that's impressive.
We've been busting our butts. And he hired a publicist too. So he got on some really great TV and podcasts while having the messaging all working beautifully, so that when people did the lurking and they said, oh, look at him on, one show. Oh, here he is on Instagram. Oh, this is what he has to say. And it was all cohesive and it all spoke to them. And that's the beauty of this stuff.
I love that. And we have another one. I love how you talk about each author having a mission, because that is so true. Something they need to help, marrying it to their speaking, though.
Absolutely. But those things are all sort of intertwined, right? I feel like when I get up in the morning and when I get up in the morning, it's usually my son is in my bed going, Mommy, I'm hungry. Wake up, because he gets up super early. And then finally, when I get them off to school or camp, then when I'm up in the morning at my desk, the thing that drives me, that gets me excited every single day about what I do is my mission. And if you get sort of derailed from that, it's going to be hard to keep going. So if you can always remind yourself of why you do what you do. So Jamie, I'm going to put you on the spot here for a sec. I'm going to say your inspiration for stopping the bottleneck, people being their own bottlenecks, does that get you out of bed every single day?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's I explain it like this too. If you can do this, I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in life balance, but there's a 75-25 kind of split. So when you do something, 25% of that time, if it's something you're truly passionate about, it's like walking through mud or you're stuck in quicksand, but you got to get through it or get some help to pull you out of it, because you're going to be rewarded by the 75% of the time that really gives you that energy. So we started my company, and I'll be honest with you, I started my company because I wanted to make money.
Hey,
Right?
that's a noble cause. I mean, but it was probably more than that, because you could have started any company. You could have bought a KFC, but you didn't.
Exactly. You see, what happened is I got a call, And it was a Saturday morning. It was about 2 years ago, maybe more now. But I got a call from a client. I said, "What the heck are you? You're not supposed to be working." Like, and he goes, "Well, that's exactly the reason I'm calling you, because it's the first Saturday I've taken off in over a year, and I just want to say thank you." And it was at that very moment that it changed from me being driven by money, more aligned me with a passion that, hey, we can help stop that bottleneck and give you your freedom. And then moments later, the phone rustled away and his wife said, "Thank you for giving me my husband back." And my mind just went,
I just got shivers.
I was like, holy crap, like we're actually affecting someone's life.
Yeah.
And that all of a sudden, our company's just gone up from there.
Yeah.
And what's kind of ironic about that is now we earn more money, but that's not the important thing. It's all about that messaging, what drives you, and how important passion is. So I can't agree with you enough when you talk about that. And I think that more people that are writing books, they need to look to people like you, because there's times where it gets gnarly and you get stuck. And if we can put a Melanie hat on, oh my gosh, that'll help get us through there.
One of the things that gives me the greatest joy ever is working one-on-one with my clients and getting to see the transformations that they make. I mean, you've experienced it too. It's what gets me going out of bed every single day. It keeps me happy. And you're right, it goes beyond money. It's about fulfilling your life's mission, which you might not even have known what it was.
Yeah, sometimes you get surprised. Oh, okay. And a good friend of mine, Melanie Herschorn. Do you know Melanie?
I don't, but
she says,
hi, Melanie.
She's amazing. I'm so glad she tuned in, especially for this conversation. She says work-life balance doesn't exist. It's all about life, work, play by design. Yeah. And she actually registered trademarked this word, unhustle.
I love that.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. But it's important for me to share your message of aligning your passion with a project that you're embarking on to get you through those tough times. And it just seems to me that you care about somebody to put them in a good position, and you're kind of there to help them overcome these challenges and difficult times.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like to say that I'm their advocate, their supporter, sometimes a cheerleader if necessary. But it's, when I get to work on a project with an author, it's an honor really to help usher their project into fruition, to help other people get to know and to make their lives better. I mean, I could list off my clients and tell you each one is so different, but their mission is universal in that they're trying to change something that's wrong with this world so that they can have a positive impact on people's lives.
That's what it's all about. And marketing is not easy. So
no.
Kudos to you for taking that on, because there's a definite art form to it. And I would say, yeah, me personally, in my opinion, a large majority of us human beings have a difficult time with marketing. Sure. And to have people like you that can pick things out and maybe help guide and share the importance of continuity and creativity and consistency and all of that stuff is definitely something a lot of us really, really need, because we need to get out of our own way sometimes.
And look, I need to get out of my own way too. I really.
What are some tips that you have for somebody that is, maybe writing their book right now? Like, what if they're kind of stuck in their journey? What are some tips that you might be able to give them that can help get them unstuck, so to speak?
Okay, that's a great question. So the first thing you can do is start sharing that you're writing a book. Start sharing, because then if you get stuck and you say, I'm not going to finish it, well, you're being held accountable by all the people you told. So once you do that, you will get it done.
You better.
You will, because you don't want your LinkedIn friends to be like, I thought you were writing a book. What happened to that? Right? Once you put it out in the world, it's gonna happen. So in terms of getting unstuck, I want you to look at your book and what you've written objectively. Just like Jamie, you did when you were pulling out things that were, actually great to post. Because you will find those. And tell stories. You know that story you told about the chapter in your book that you were stuck? That's a beautiful story. So many people can relate to that. Yes, it's about the book itself, but that's okay. What about a story that you included in the book already that has to do with your mission? Maybe it's the story about, I don't know if this is in your book, but the story about that client who called you. The story about the client's wife who took time out of her Saturday to get on the phone to thank you for giving her husband back. That's just, gosh, I want to bottle that. Forget the bottleneck. Let's bottle that.
Yeah, it's powerful. Melena says, I'm writing a book, been writing a book for 2 years, and everyone wants to know what's going on with the book. It's the simplifying the book that's the challenge.
And that's why there are great book coaches out there who can really help you get things to the finish line. And I don't do that, but I know lots of book coaches who do. And my role is really to take what's there and to amplify it and to help people really stand in their expertise and show them that, I am who I am. I'm a book marketing strategist. Yes, I am. It's like that imposter syndrome we were talking about. That I'm afraid to, right, just like the LinkedIn user says, people are afraid to say nice things about themselves. Absolutely. But one way around it is to have other people say nice things for you, right? They can say, you can post a testimonial. You can post some review of your book. If you're going to get lots of great beta readers, I'm sure, and they're going to say nice things, and you can post that. And then you don't have to say, oh, yay, look at me, I'm so great. Other people can do the talking for you.
I would imagine too that working with you, you're able to identify a lot of those opportunities for your authors, right?
Yes, absolutely. So I've been doing, I don't know if it's something that's innate or that I've been doing it long enough, whatever it is. Yes, I look at things and I'm able to extract the goodness. One thing that I don't want to say great things about myself, but something that I am able to do is when somebody tells me a whole bunch of things, I can listen and then boil it down into one sentence. And that has, I think I sort of honed that skill when I was a journalist and I was having to write these radio stories about really dense, boring business things. And I mean, we're talking like electric grid, like things that people are like, oh, and I learned how to take really complex things and boil it down into one simple sentence. And so now I do that for my clients. And often they'll go, yes, that's what I wanted to say. How did you know? And I say, well, you told me. So that is one thing that I like to do for people is to really listen and to sort of tell them what they're trying to say, just in a more concise way.
Distilling the information, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that was my problem. I would write something that was 4 paragraphs and Sarah would look at it and say, you can do all this like this in 1 paragraph. And I said, yeah, but then my word counts down. She goes, yeah, you need to do that. So, but it really challenged me to get through there and get my point across to make it easier to understand. Cause I jarble too much. That's what I think is probably the most challenging.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, they think that they need to over tell you what they're trying to say in order to, just so you understand. But the beauty is less is more. Less is more. When you can be really concise and say things super simply for people, then that message is going to resonate with them a whole lot more than if you spit out, 3 paragraphs in an Instagram post, because, people are not going to get it. They're just not going to stick around to listen. And I mean, they're not. Think about it. What are you doing when you're scrolling? You're watching TV, you're on the toilet. How much attention are you really paying?
Yeah, exactly. I love that. I think Milena just said less is more. Yeah, that's me. And so you work with people, you get them to now. Do you do the PR part of it, or do you align them with PR people, or are
I
you
align
talking
them.
about
If
messaging?
they want PR, I can align them with some great publicists.
Okay.
My role truly is, like I mentioned, bridging that gap. So helping them create their online presence, working on their social media, their lead magnets. Oh my gosh, we didn't even touch on the importance of lead magnets and growing your email list and all the things that require time and effort to really grow your community online. That's really where I focus.
So when you say lead magnets,
Mhm.
you're obviously lead magnets drive, you capture names, emails, things like that, offer something of value in order to get contact information to be able to reach out and promote your book effectively, right? So do you actually build lead landing pages and things like that align with their messaging and their branding?
So while I'm a strategist, I can tell them exactly what to say. I mean, in the past, I have built things, but now I like to leave it to the experts. Instead of being like a jack of all trades, I just like to be a master of this. So, but
I
yes, I
love
can.
that. This is specifically the reason I asked that question. I'm so glad you answered that.
Oh, okay. But I can tell them what belongs there and how to say it in a way that's going to pique somebody's interest. And may I add that do not, yes, and this LinkedIn user, I'm pretty sure this is Yvonne. So um, I'm going to share it. Thank you. Do not give away the first chapter of your book as a lead magnet. Nobody's going to read that. If they don't know you already, they're not going to. It's probably not your best chapter anyway. It's not your chapter 5. So what I would do is think of what comes before the book on your customer journey, on your client journey. So, for example, I'll give you this just broad example. Let's say you're a life coach and you wrote a book about work-life balance, which we've already discovered doesn't exist. But let's just say you wrote this book.
Sure.
So what comes before the book? What about a lead magnet with, 5 things that you can do every morning to have a great positive day? So it's getting people's appetite whetted to learn more about you. They get a quick win. So, day 1, they try it. Oh, wow, my day's better. Day 2. Oh my gosh, day 2, I'm still happy. Wow, this person's really smart. I wonder what else they have going on. Oh, they wrote a book. I'm going to get it. So that's kind of the process of why giving away your first chapter is a no-go. And instead, you want to give away something that's going to lead people into wanting your book next.
I really like that. That's interesting. I did give away the first chapter of my book, and it didn't work. It didn't work very well.
Yeah.
But when we did the top 7 red flags of hiring, people downloaded that like crazy.
Exactly.
Because it's kind of like that radio station WIIFM. What's in it for them, right? What's in it for
Yes.
and I think if you can, and what's nice about that too is you talking messaging and consistent continuity. Like if you're writing a book around this kind of area, why not do some of the benefits that someone might get from reading your book instead of sharing your book with them?
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Brilliant. That's brilliant.
Yay.
Well, we are coming close to our time here, and I want to be respectful of you and your time. We actually kind of went a little above it, but I wonder if maybe you can tell us how to get in touch with you. And then the second part of that is, where is someone on their book writing journey where they would say, okay, I'm in a good position to now reach out to Melanie?
Okay, I'm going to answer that question first.
Okay.
And once you have a manuscript, that's a good time. Because then I'm able to go through the book, pull out all the goodness and create, 100 content prompts for you, and then really start dialing in that messaging. And then the answer to your first question, how people can reach me. Well, I have a gift for everybody watching.
Ooh.
And it is the ultimate book marketing checklist. So I can give it to you. I can type it in the comments. It's just at vipdigital.live/checklist.
I will put that up there, and I'm going to say free gift.
Okay.
And let's add that to the banner there. That way people can see it. vipdigital.live/checklist.
That's right.
And what does that do for them?
So in it, they'll be able to download a free checklist. It's got all the things you're going to need to know to do for your book marketing.
Oh.
And it also gives you a worksheet on creating your lead magnet.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. Well, thank you for that. And is this your website there?
That is.
That's it.
Yep. That's my website.
You're on LinkedIn and Facebook and Instagram there. Once again, that free gift. That's awesome. Well, last thing before we go, is there anything else you'd like to say before we wrap up?
Well, I guess the one thing that I would like to say is that I know what it's like to be scammed by an online marketer. And that's kind of what got me doing this in the first place, was that after being treated so poorly by somebody who took all my money, I thought, all right, well, I can change things for people and I can empower people to do their marketing. And so that's exactly why I do what I do, is to empower people and to help make this world a better place so that all those bad people, they can just go away.
I love that. I love that. Melanie, thank you so much for sharing today, these tidbits. And hopefully whoever's watching this can reach out to you and learn a lot more. As soon as you have your manuscript done, reach out to you and get started on putting the Melanie Herschorn hat on and getting their book marketed properly.
Thank you so much, Jamie. This was so much fun.
It was. Do you have just a second for me to wrap up? Okay, 1 second. So today, as you heard, talking with Melanie Herschorn, she gave some fantastic tips. I highly encourage you to reach out at the very minimal. Go to vipdigital.live/checklist and get her checklist. If you are an author, meaning have you started writing, you are now an author, and you're getting to that goal now to finish that manuscript, the next step is to reach out to Melanie. And you can reach out and visit Melanie at vipdigitalcontent.com. You can send her an email, melanie@vipdigital.com. You can go to LinkedIn. She's on Facebook. She's on Instagram. Highly recommend you follow her on social media. And again, go get that free gift, that download of the checklist to tell you what you need to do to prepare to market your book effectively by going to vipdigital.live/checklist. I cannot recommend that enough. Today, I've been talking again with Melanie Herschorn. She's a book marketing strategist and founder of VIP Digital Content. We're talking about how to make your book and brand shine online. She knows what she's talking about. Pay attention. Highly recommend that. So if you would like to learn more about how you can break through the bottleneck in your business today, go to Bottleneck.Online/BTV. That stands for Bottleneck Television. And you can see this video and watch it again, or you can see other videos that we've done. Over 1,000 videos are there, so I invite you there. And of course, while we're talking about the topics of book, why not go to quitrepeatingyourself.com and check out Quit Repeating Yourself, how today's leaders are using systems and processes to grow their business the right way. That's my book. Again, we were talking with Melanie today. And if you missed it previously, we talked about how artificial intelligence is changing the sales experience. Jill Scheifelbein, the president of Dynamic Communicator Incorporated, we had a wonderful conversation about creating artificial intelligence in an avatar in your likeness. Pretty crazy. You got to go listen to that episode. And coming soon to your earbuds, teaching team building and communication through video games with Scott Novus. He's the CEO and founder of Bravos Esports, and that's going to be a wonderful conversation that's coming up next week, Wednesday, June 29th, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. Thank you again so much for tuning in on Live with Bottleneck, and I'm glad that we were able to help you stop the bottleneck with your book writing marketing questions. And don't forget today, please create your own ripple. Create your own ripple. All right. Have a great one. We'll talk to you soon. And bye for now.